Okay.
So I'm Joe.
Again.
Not only am I on this random ass podcast, I also am a race driving instructor. So I take it upon myself to teach geeks how to drive race cars. So part one, the traction circle. The stereo can only be as good as its speakers. A little louder.
Speakers.
Okay. A race car can only be as good as its driver. So this is a racing tire. Notice it's nice and slick. This right here is the contact patch, which is the portion of the tire that's touching the ground. It's all that really matters in a tire. It's only round because of physics and things that they learned back in the Stone Age. But that rectangular patch is what matters. This right here is a vector diagram of how much force you can apply laterally on a tire. So there's your contact patch. You can either do 1 unit of force forward, which means you're braking as hard as you can, or a unit of force to the right, which means you're not braking, not accelerating, but you're turning as hard as you can left before you slide out. Same thing, acceleration and turning right. So if you are braking and turning, you cannot brake as hard and you cannot turn as hard. So if you brake a little bit more, you end up sliding. You're outside of the traction circle. You're exerting more than 1 unit of force laterally on your tire. So this is called the limit. Driving at the limit is literally dancing around this little thing and sliding on purpose where it helps rotate your car, etc. It's very fun. So part 2 is weight transfer. You heard about the contact patch. You actually have 4 of them on your car. Surprise, surprise. So that means you have 4 separate traction circles that when you're accelerating in your car, the weight of your car transfers to the rear of the car, which means there's more force on your rear tires, therefore your total amount of force you can laterally push on those tires is higher. So when you're accelerating, you have a smaller contact patch in the front, the bigger one in the back, which means you have more power. That's why your rear tires are wider than your front tires. Go low. If you have a 4-wheel drive car, you get a little bit extra go. When you're braking, all the force is, all the weight of your car shifts to your front tires, so you have a lot more traction in the front tires, and therefore your front disc brakes are much, much larger than your rears. Go look. Any car, not just a race car. So when you're turning, same thing applies. Your outside tires have a lot more force, down force on them, and therefore have a bigger traction circle. They're doing most of the work through the corner. If you're braking and turning, you then have a lot of force in your front right tire in this case, which means you're braking really hard, and you're, which way are we turning? We're turning left. So all the weight is on one tire, which means you're in a position where you could easily spin. So you've done that. For part 3, the racing line. 2 minutes, wow, when you're red. This is a corner, crappily drawn, sitting in the Posse house a couple years ago. This is one way through the corner. Is this the fastest way?
No.
Good. This is another way through the corner. Is this the fastest way?
No. Depends. Depends.
What if this is 8 miles radius? It all depends. And this also isn't the fast way unless there's a huge puddle in the middle right there. So the fastest way through a corner kind of looks like this, but not really like this. It looks a little bit more like this, slightly more hockey stick. And this is because of the traction circle. You want to do your braking in a straight line so that you can brake absolutely as hard as possible. You come down, you are floored on the throttle until this point. This is where your passenger starts to wet their pants. Once you switch, they're sure you're going to die. Then you know how hard you can brake in a straight line. So you brake really hard in a straight line. If you're a good driver, it is the last millisecond you could have started braking as hard as you want, or hard as you can. And then you turn in, and you should be back on the throttle before the apex of the corner. So I would show a video, but I'm just going to end quick. If you go to YouTube, Nuxoll, I've got a lot of in-car video. It's my favorite thing. If I could race cars and not have to work on anything else, that's what I was doing. And I show you an in-car, but we'll save it. You can go watch it online yourself. The end.